Now in this video, I'll answer all the questions that you've asked me in my first impressions video, and also I'll share with you everything that you guys need to know about the brand new Xiaomi Mi 9T, so keep watching. Hey, what's up guys, Adam Lobo here and you're watching Adam Lobo TV. If you guys are new, hello and welcome. Do consider subscribing to this channel as I release videos at least twice a week. And if you're returning as a subscriber, welcome back my friends. You have voted on Instagram, so here's my brand new set. Now let's first unbox the phone. Now the Xiaomi Mi 9T comes with a black box with the Mi logo on top, the phone visuals in the middle, and the Mi 9T down below. Then opening the box, you'll find another black box which has the SIM ejector tool on the outside, the user manual inside together with a very nice matte black hardcover case. Then you'll see the phone itself. Now underneath that, you'll find the USB-A to USB-C cable. Then you'll find the charging brick as well. So there's your unboxing, Irfan Tajuddin. Now going over to the phone specs, the Xiaomi Mi 9T comes with the Snapdragon 730 chipset with the Adreno 618 GPU. It comes with two variants, which is the 6 gigs of RAM with 64 gig storage and also the 128 gig storage variant. And it comes shipped with Android 9 Pie with the updated Mi UI 10 skin. Now in terms of color choices, there are two colors for you guys to choose from. The one which I have is the really nice looking glacier blue, which look really nice as you guys can see, and it looks even better in real life. And then there's also flame red and carbon black. When looking at all the color choices, I have to say that I kind of like all three of the colors, and that's pretty rare as I did find all three colors look very pleasing, especially when looking at it firsthand. Now looking at the build and the design of the phone, holding the Xiaomi Mi 9T kind of reminds me of holding the Xiaomi Mi 9, where it had a flat surface in front and also a curved back. But the Xiaomi Mi 9T has a reduction of the camera bump size compared to the really prominent camera bump on the Xiaomi Mi 9, and the three cameras are placed right in the middle of the phone instead. Now similar like the Mi 9, the Mi 9T also comes with the optical fingerprint sensor in front, where it unlocks pretty fast, but to be honest, there were times when my hands were wet and also sometimes sweaty after working out. It did unlock slower than usual, so keep that in mind. Now let's look at the ports and buttons. Looking down below, there is the USB-C port with a single mono firing speaker on the right and a dual SIM card slot with no micro SD card slot. And then there's a power button which is in red and the volume rocker above. And on top there is the headphones jack, which is really nice to know as it wasn't there for the Xiaomi Mi 9. Now as for the phone's display, it has a really nice 6.39-inch AMOLED display, and as I mentioned in my first impressions video, although it is not Super AMOLED, but it did look really nice, where the phone had a screen resolution of 1080 by 2340 pixels, and yes, watching videos on YouTube and also Netflix was really great. Especially since there's no notch at all, and in case you guys did not know that for phones which has a notch, the screen only covers just before the notch, and that was not the case for this phone where the video covered the whole entire screen. So there's your answer, styled on watching videos on the phone. And yes, joke serve, it does play HD on Netflix, which I binge watch Stranger Things on the phone as well. Now as for the phone's camera specs, there are three cameras as I mentioned. One is a huge 48 megapixel camera with a 28mm wide f1.8 aperture lens, an 8 megapixel 53mm telephoto f2.4 aperture lens, and a 13 megapixel f2.4 aperture 12mm ultra wide angle lens. And pictures on the phone was really great during the day, and it had a great color reproduction where you can surely see there is a huge improvement on the overall image processing. And speaking of image processing, I have managed to download the Gcam app on the phone, but there were times where the pictures look quite similar, but sometimes the portrait shots for the Gcam software look a bit more prominent, but most of the time it was quite the same. Now, while the image processing for the G-Cam can be sometimes nicer, but please keep in mind that the G-Cam does not allow you to take advantage of the other lenses like the ultra-wide angle lens, so I will just stick to the stock camera app which comes inside of the phone. Now, speaking of the ultra-wide angle lens, the 12mm wide lens was really nice to cover whole a lot of areas where it looked really great with a nice perspective of the images. Now, as for the phone's night mode, as I mentioned before that I prefer the night mode on the Xiaomi phones compared to some other phones where it is usually overexposed, and the overall quality of the image was very similar on the G-Cam app and also on the stock camera app, where the only difference is in the color temperature, where the G-Cam had a bit more warmer tone and the Xiaomi's default camera was a bit cooler, so it comes down to a personal preference. Now, as for the front camera, Xiaomi has finally introduced the pop-up camera, and that's the reason why there's no notch, which had a really good 20 megapixel f2.0 aperture lens. Now, just a few things to mention about this pop-up camera just before we go into the picture samples. Firstly, there's a very nice notification LED light on top, and once also you switch on the front camera, there's also a really nice glacier blue color similar to the color variant. And the phone also has a face unlock, but it obviously takes time since it needs the pop-up camera to fully open up, but once it does, it unlocks pretty fast, even under low light. Now, another cool feature is that if the pop-up camera is up and if you happen to drop the phone, it automatically goes down, which is a great feature to have to make sure that the camera does not damage if the phone falls down. So let's test it. It's up, drop the phone, it's down. Well, let's talk about the picture quality for the front-facing camera, where pictures during the day for the regular selfie pictures and also the portrait selfie pictures was really great. But if the environment was slightly darker, it can be a hit or miss, where I would use the G-Cam for the front portrait selfie shots, where in my opinion, it does look a bit nicer. So overall, I would say just get the G-Cam app for the phone, try them both and then see which one suits you the best. And yes, I'll leave a link of the G-Cam app down below for you guys to easily download it. So there's your camera samples, Muhammad Najib, Ian's Adia, Mandayat, and the G-Cam comparisons, Lokman Hakim. Now, as for the phone's video taking capabilities, the rear camera records up to UHD 4K up to 30 frames per second, and also at 1080p up to a really high frame rate of 960 frames per second, where the video quality was really nice and crisp as expected, where the image stabilization was great, as you guys can see. And yes, you can also use the wide angle lens to get a really nice wide epic video shots, which is also a really nice added feature. And as for the slow-mo feature, it was nice to have, but since it has 1080p, it will look even sharper even with more light, so keep that in mind. Then as for the front camera, it records up to 1080p up to 30 frames per second, where the front camera had a HDR, which was great, but the image stabilization was not as good as the rear camera, so I would recommend using the rear wide angle camera for you guys to take a vlog, although you can't see yourself, but the wide angle lens will surely get you properly in the frame. So there's your answer, Bilal Ramadan. And of course, that's also your video samples, Zawaulam Zul. Now, as for the phone's sound quality, listening it through headphones was great since you can directly plug in through the headphones jack. And as for the phone speaker, the phone has a single mono-pharynx speaker where although it does not have much clarity, it can be quite loud, and here's a quick sound test. So hope that answers your question, Riksapo, on the speakers. And to answer your question, Blue 280485, although the earphones sounded great, but it's not good as Dolby surround sound, but pretty good still. Now, as for the phone's software, it is shipped with Android 9 Pie with the latest improved version of the MIUI 10 skin, which had some additional features like removing the app drawer, and now you can even scroll right at the middle of the screen to go to your notifications instead of swiping all the way up from on top, which I feel like this Android skin is a skin which I'm beginning to really like, even though I'm a fan of stock Android. And no, there's absolutely no ads on the phone, so hope that answers your question, Carlo Cowton, Black Tooth Grin, and Mythical Chaos. Now, as for the phone's battery life, it comes with 4000 milliamps of battery, which is pretty standard for 2019 phones, which was great, and with a very heavy usage. With the screen brightness to automatic, I got 5 hours and 46 minutes of screen on time at 10% battery. And it has 18 watt fast charging, which got me from 0 to 50% at close to 35 minutes, which was pretty decent. So that's your answer, Sama Yasir. And as for your answer, Lokman Hanafi, it does not support 27 watt turbo charging. And as per usual, my gaming test is using Asphalt 9 and also PUBG, where the overall gaming was great and smooth without any issues. While some have mentioned that the device runs cool while playing games, but for me, I did find the phone becoming a bit warm during a very long gameplay. So that's your answer, Blonde Deep, on the gaming performance. And also your answer, Ismail Omar. Now in conclusion, the Xiaomi Mi 9T is overall a great phone if you guys are looking for a great spec'd out smartphone which has a great camera and improved UI and of course a really competitive price for the mid-range market. So it depends, if this is your price range, then yes, you should definitely get it, as the phone's price here in Malaysia is going for 1,199 ringgit for the 6 gigs of RAM with 64 gigs of storage and 1,399 ringgit for the 128 gig storage variant, which I'll leave links down below if you guys are planning to get one. Alright guys, hope you guys enjoyed this video and found this video helpful, and hope I answered every single of your questions. And if you guys have any questions, do let me know at the comment section below. Aside from that, thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to hit the thumbs up button, like, share and subscribe to Adam Lobo TV if you haven't done so. Don't forget to hit the bell icon just next to it to get notified for my future videos. Thank you so much for watching. This is Adam Lobo and I'll catch you guys in the next video.